Hello and welcome to Star Wars Republic Commando. This is a game that came out just over a decade ago. I can say that now. Because it's pretty much 2016 now. 11 years ago. It's a really old game. Damn, I'm old. I played this when it first came out, and I was really excited to play this game because there was not a whole lot of games where you could solely play as a trooper. Before this, most games have been more like a RTS, real-time strategy, top-down, and then there's others that have been lightsabers. But the most of the focus was on this, powerful hero that was gonna save everybody because he's a Jedi, is the Force. He's gonna do really good no matter what. He's a badass. Here you get something more along the lines of the sort of a common something more relatable, because first off, you're a clone. You're one in like a million, literally the same person, but you're a bit more highly trained and prepared for the situations you're about to encounter. During the creation of the game, the developers had gone through like police training, like a sort of a SWAT team tactical training that they had to go through, like covering each other's backs, watching the sight lines, like movement, so that moving through doors, always staying in cover, stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool because for the first time you get to play as a trooper. It's a shooter game, so I was like, fuck yeah. You get to play as a stormtrooper. Well, okay, not a stormtrooper, a clone trooper, but it's still cool. And I was always fascinated by the trooper side, and it didn't really get heavily expanded upon through the games, because the troopers were mostly the ones you were shooting at, and you and I was like, alright, I'm a Jedi, that's cool, but then I found it more exciting to be this, because it's more relatable to me, because that's probably the role I would be the cannon fodder in the Star Wars universe. If that were to ever happen, I'd be the guy on the planet getting blowed up. Well, optimism, right? But it's still cool. So I got to play as something I really wanted to. And not only that, it was this sort of a story-based game, not like full-on multiplayer where you just toss you in there like Battlefront. So you sort of get to play through a story. Battlefront had a story too, but it's more like Titanfall. They just kind of tossed it in there just so you can be like, oh, here's a little bit of a story. Go use your imagination. This one actually had banter between the troopers and stuff. One was funny, one was very business, and the other one was just like, yeah, I'm gonna rip that guy's face off. It was just really cool. And yeah, I throughout playing through this, I got really into the characters. This is when I first played it. Nowadays, I'm a bit more jaded about it, and a little bit more cynical about this, because then later, yeah. Let's talk about the time. I got really into the game, and I'll spoil it for you now. It's 10 years old. One of the characters dies in the end, sacrifices himself, for the greater glory of the Republic. And I was like, no, he's gotta come back, right? And then you take to the forums and you'd be like, no, Sav didn't die, just, grasping at straws, like, no, he could have made it, but he's really dead. he's gone. Goodbye. Yeah, that sucked at the time, but, it was a really good Star Wars story for me, because I was like, yes, they did something. And they even sort of made the characters the enemy more menacing, because you're thinking, oh, droids just toss a grenade and they blow up. They're the silly little bullshits are going Roger all the time. Like, no, these guys are really menacing, and they kept taking me out while I was playing through it. I played it on normal and hard when I first played it. I played it through quite a few times back then, and I'm not doing so good now. It's been a decade. Come on, cut me some slack. Yep, but then you get to get really into the game. I played it multiple times. I can't remember how the multiplayer was back then. Nowadays, nothing. What else? Yes, and okay, let's have a look. Let's look at it from right now perspective. I have right now. It's the game itself is very short. The gunplay is pretty good. The enemies were a hell of a lot. Well, you call them bullet sponges. So to take down an enemy, you think, oh yeah, just like half a clip or something. But no, it took you do take multiple like I always find my ammo draining to zero and resorting to the pistol, just because there wasn't enough ammo in the game to take care of all these enemies that were coming at me. I mean, even if you played through like the optimum way of playing, which was having one of your guys stay at the sniper position or on the main cannon while you sort of draw enemies from the few rooms in the front and bringing them back. That's the way I play. That's the only way I got through it the first time, was doing that. They're very tough, and especially if you are not a very good shot like me. They're very tough, and it takes a while. So the game itself isn't very big, but there's plenty of stuff to stop you from getting to the end. And so to fill up the time for you from beginning to end, to slow you down, they would really bullet sponge up the enemies. So you'd be like, oh yeah, this took me a few hours, when it really could have been completed in just way less, like cut the time in half if that wasn't the case. So yeah, that's the only part that I really think that stuck out to me that I didn't like looking back at this game, like the sponginess to the enemies. But everything else was, I think it's pretty great, and I enjoyed it. So any bit of lore that you can add to the Star Wars universe, I'm always going, ooh, what's this, and especially anything trooper related. Later on, the Star Wars, the animated series, the Clone Wars, would get more into that, and it would shine the troopers in a very cool and positive light as contributors to the war, and not just the Jedi. Especially when they have a few episodes of them just being on their own, sort of just commanding each other around, and you get to see the relationships between how the clones would treat each other. For instance, you'd have Sev here. You'd think, okay, so they're clones, they should be exactly the same, but somehow they end up having their own personalities. And for me, I got to thinking, like, what is free will? Since they're all the same, shouldn't they all have the same thoughts and stuff? For the most part, sort of, because they all have a feeling of loyalty to. Most of them have a feeling of loyalty to the Republic, and being a trooper is what you want to be. There's a few rogue clone troopers that sort of do their own thing. Traitor. There's a few traitors. There's a few people who break off from the normal, from the war, and end up starting. One starts a family, one starts something else. I don't know, but a bunch of them do different things, and you end up thinking, okay, so they're not just clones. They have their own personalities, and they can be very different, even though they look the same. And I always found that fascinating. I have no idea what else to say, so besides, I really enjoyed the game, and it always got me thinking, like, how the clones would live their lives, and that was it's still cool to me today. It's so cool. I really like Star Wars. I don't know what else to talk about, so I'm just going to end it right here. Thank you guys for listening and watching the gameplay. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.